It's getting darker earlier, and daylight saving time is almost here. Are you prepared? I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Let's hit it. Welcome back to my channel. It's great to have you here, and welcome to all the new subscribers over this past week. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I've been an Instacart shopper for the past 17 months here in Pensacola, Florida, home of the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. I'm blessed to live in an area where I see them practice very often, and occasionally I'll be doing a grocery delivery and in somebody's front yard, there they are flying right overhead, and I'll just stop and look at them while they're trying to pick up their stuff from the door. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be there in just a second. I'm just watching this. But anyway, hey, it's a great place to live. By the way, made U.S. News top 10 places to retire to. Pensacola came in number 10. 8 out of the 10 are in Florida. So that's just amazing stuff. As winter approaches, it's getting darker earlier. You've probably already noticed that, and your shopping habits may be changing because of it, because some of you probably don't like delivering in the dark. Me, I do it out of necessity because it's part of my work day, and that's where I continue to make money, so I continue to do it. But to do so, I need to be very well prepared, and so do you. And I just want to show you one tool that can make your life a lot easier and safer. One of the most useful tools that I have is a flashlight. This little flashlight helps me make the deliveries in the dark, whether I'm doing Instacart, Grubhub, Uber Eats, any of the other food delivery apps, or even Shipt. You know, a lot of times I'm going to be shopping in the dark. Or you think you might get home before dark, but that order is going to take you too long. You may run into traffic, and you're going to show up at a customer's house where, of course, they don't have any outside lights on. So I use this little flashlight. This little thing right here has helped me a lot. It helps me take pictures of the groceries so I can see everything that's in there, and I can fight fraud reports. Yes, I've had to do it. Thanks to this thing, I've been able to do that when the customer didn't have their porch light on, where I could clearly see the item that they claimed was damaged when it clearly was not. This little flashlight I got at Harbor Freight. Now, this is not a paid promotion. I'm just telling you my own personal experience with this. This little quantum flashlight, you can get these for about 15 bucks or less, depending upon the week, because a lot of times they're sale prices. Sometimes you can get coupons. But this little flashlight fits very nicely in my pocket. As you can see, it's actually not a bad size. It fits very nicely in my hand, and I can turn it on and I can see all around. What's really cool about this thing is I can get a wide view, and I can also get a narrow beam, which is really helpful in spotting house numbers. Here, let me show you a few examples. In this video, I'm at a house. Again, there's no outside lights on, no porch lights on. And, you know, there's trying to find the house number. I was able to find the house number from the street, thank goodness. But when I got to the door, obviously I need to take a picture of the delivery. And also, I just need to see where I'm going and make sure there's nothing around me, too, that could potentially harm me. So as you can see, when I turn on the light, I can see very clearly. So there's the difference that this little flashlight can make. Another thing you're going to run into is when you're pulling up to somebody's neighborhood, they may not have the numbers on the mailboxes or on the street curb. They may have the numbers on the house, but the house may sit 50, 70, maybe even 100 feet back from the road. At that point, you just zoom this thing out and you can shine it right onto the house, and if you have good eyesight, you'll have no problem seeing that house number from the street. This way, you are not going through anybody's yards, you're not raising anybody's alarms, you're just looking, and you can see right from the street, oh, this is not it, I'll just move on down here. This happens to me a lot. Here in this part of Florida, it's a pretty dark place at night, and there's probably a lot of reasons for it. One is to reduce light pollution, because we do have a big sea turtle population here, so having reduced outdoor lighting does help the sea turtles, even if you are further inland, because those sea turtles, their instincts are to follow moonlight when those nests hatch so they can find their way to the water. If there's a lot of light on land, they get disoriented, turn around, and they usually will end up in people's pools or whatever. So they do get lost. So at least around here you have that. Plus we have a lot of rural areas too, so you have that factor to deal with. And I think in other parts of the country, you're probably going to have similar situations where there's just not a lot of street lighting, and you're just going to have people that, even though they know you're coming for the grocery deliveries, they're just plain ignorant and will not turn on any outside lights. Don't I love it when they turn on the porch lights when they want to retrieve their groceries after the fact, right? Another nice thing about this particular flashlight is that you can just unscrew the end here. This is the butt end of it, and you pull it out, and it takes 4 AAA batteries. So these are just, I'm using alkaline batteries in this light, so you can use standard ones if you want. It really doesn't matter, but I would strongly recommend that you keep a set of batteries on hand, or in my case, I also keep a second flashlight on hand just in case something should happen that I should drop this. I've dropped it, nothing's ever happened. I have a lot of these lights. They are part of my hurricane kit, and I have one in each room of the house additionally, so, and there's one in each one of our cars too. So these things have really proven themselves over and over again. When we had Hurricane Sally here, we were without power for about 3 or 4 days, and it's spooky when there's no lights on around you for miles and miles around. It gets dark real quick. These little things can light up a whole yard, your whole front yard, your whole backyard. I had to look for something down the street because I saw motion that I thought was suspicious, so I shined the light on, and with the beam, and I was able to pinpoint right down the street what I was looking at. Very easy to operate. You've got the button right there on the end. You need a flashlight for a lot of reasons, safety reasons particularly. Let's start with the ground. You could be walking across a sidewalk and a tree root pushes up a concrete slab. You could trip over that. Or let's say you're walking across somebody's yard and you don't see that pile of doggy doo. Or you could have a puddle of water right there too that you end up going into. Now, there's other things that you could come across too, like snakes, alligators, bears, skunks. Don't forget the kids' toys, wagons, bicycles, and the like. And then you get further up, now you've got shrubbery, perhaps. You may even have a person that's standing nearby that you wouldn't see otherwise. I'll tell you that story in just a second. Or you get up here, you may have a tree limb that's hanging down low, and you may not be able to see it. So there's all kinds of reasons why you need a flashlight when you're making nighttime deliveries. And don't just rely on your cell phone. That is inadequate lighting. It may light up a little space in front of your feet, but it's really not going to give you the adequate lighting that you need. So I had a case where I was delivering at night, and the customer instructions were, leave the groceries in the wagon that's next to the driveway in the front yard. Okay, that's fine. I show up to the house, there's no lights on outside, there's a whole bunch of shrubbery in front of the house, and there's a big tree right here. Okay, no big deal. So I got out of the car, just put stuff into the wagon. It was just a couple steps over here. Well, I heard a little rustling in the leaves. Not unusual. There's cats, there's lizards, there's squirrels, there's whatever else that's around here. But it was a sound that I knew was different. So I grabbed my light out of my pocket, because I did not leave the car without my light, and I shined it into the direction of the sound, so I had the whole area lit up, and there was a guy standing right there in the darkness in the shadows of a shrub. That was crazy. It scared the daylights out of me. And I said to the guy, "You just scared the shit out of me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, I said, "That was unnecessary. There's your delivery. I'm out." And I left. And I was not kind about it, because that guy, you know, your adrenaline immediately goes up. And because you don't know what's going on. "Can I help you?" Yeah, oh, you give good headbutts. Good kitty. Here's another thing about a flashlight like this. Another thing that these flashlights can do is blind somebody. So you really need to be careful when that customer does come to the door and you're using this flashlight. Make sure you keep that beam below their eyes, that ring of light that it throws off, because that can blind them. However, in a dangerous situation, that could potentially help you by blinding that threat and give you a chance to take evasive action or a few extra precious seconds so you can take other defensive measures. So there's all kinds of options available when it comes to these LED flashlights, and you can buy them pretty much anywhere. There's a lot of stores that will sell these things. I particularly like the Harbor Freight ones, but you can go wherever you want. Again, nobody's paying me to say this, so I'm just telling you from my own personal experience, because this flashlight is the right balance between size, weight, brightness, durability, and just overall usefulness. So I really like that one. And that one's rated for 588 lumens. Be sure you pay attention to that number. I wouldn't go much less than 588 lumens, because then you're really starting to compromise, you know, the brightness. You can get them that are 1,000 lumens. Great. If you can do that, that's in your budget, that's in the size, whatever fits for you. That's great. So if you get anywhere between 500 and 1,000 lumens, you're doing real good. That's going to help you in just about every situation that you will be facing as a shopper and or delivery driver. I hope you found this information valuable, and be sure that you have a good flashlight that works for you. It is for your safety, not only for trip hazards, but also for critters and even people, so that you can safely see what is around you, because one of the biggest components to your own personal safety is being aware of your surroundings. A good flashlight like that is going to help you to achieve that. I hope you found this information useful. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more tips or bigger tips and better ratings. I look forward to reading your comments about nighttime deliveries and what you use if you choose to do nighttime deliveries, and how you're going to adjust if you don't with daylight saving time coming up. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Until next time, go get 'em!